Now, it's an annoying fact of life that every workplace has its slackers. But a new report has shown that slackers aren't just unproductive, they're costing our country a whole heap of cash as well.
Are you a bit slack at work? Well, you're not alone. In fact, according to this new report, 1 in 3 people in our workforce are letting the team down. And it's costing business $40 billion in wasted time. What we're talking about here is productivity. It's the word used to describe how efficient our population is.
Productivity is probably one of the most important issues in the economy at the moment. With a high Australian dollar, every workplace needs to be more productive than it was last year.
The report grouped workers into 4 categories. Super achievers, who only waste 12% of their day. Solid contributors, these guys take 1 to 3 sick days a year. Patchy participants, who waste 20% of their time and love a sickie. And finally, the lost souls. These are the slackers and only spend 50% of their time doing any work at all. Weirdly, unproductive people take fewer breaks. They also spend more time travelling to work and less time on leisure and recreation.
Our highly productive workers have a better life balance. That really relates to their overall productivity. Their productivity is, on average, 10 or 15% better than the rest of the colleagues.
And for all the bosses out there thinking of banning Facebook, social media is only accountable for 4% of wasted work time, much less than the time wasted by workers waiting to get approvals from a higher authority. With unemployment already low and the economy cooling down, improving productivity could be the answer to our woes. But how can we inspire the 1 in 3 people who are slackers to work harder?
Well, someone who might be able to help us answer that question is workplace management expert Tony Wilson. So first off, Tony, great news for everyone. Facebook isn't making us unproductive?
Yeah, you know, I can actually take that one step further. There's a recent study that actually shows that people who are allowed to use Facebook at work are actually more productive than people who are completely banned, if you can believe that.
So, Tony, if you've got someone in your workplace who's a bit slack, does the threat of them losing their job, and we see lots of people, sadly Australians, losing their jobs at the moment, does that make them work harder?
Well, you know, it's one of the big fallacies that if people feel insecure, if they think they're going to lose their job, that they'll actually work harder. When in actual fact, the opposite is actually true. If I think I'm going to lose my job, if I think there's a chance I'm not going to be here next week, then chances are I actually won't work as hard.
Tony, does it work the other way? If you show, as an employer, a clear path to promotion, then people are more likely to work hard?
Yeah, quite often that's a fact. Quite often if we show people what the future is and give them a bit of security, then they'll actually work towards that future. Whereas, like I said before, if I don't know what the future is, then chances are I don't really want to work towards that at all.
Is it also possible, though, that some people are just the way they are? You know, in every workplace there's someone that's just annoying. That's just how it is. Is it possible that someone that's unproductive is just unproductive?
You know what? They might actually be the same person.
So how do you get people to lift their game?
Well, do you know what? One of the really interesting things out of a recent study was that the workaholics, the people that are there first and leave later, are actually not the most productive people. The most productive people are the ones that actually have some work-life balance, that take regular breaks through the day, and those are the people that are kind of disconnecting from work to be able to work at full intensity when they're actually there and be most engaged and most productive.
So you're saying people who have a status update at 10 o'clock at night still at work mightn't be the heroes they think they are?
Usually not, mate. I think that if people are working that longer hours, sometimes we've got to look at how productive they are actually being and the intensity with which they're working. Sometimes, you know, I think one of the biggest problems with productivity is we in Australia tend to equate the number of hours we work with how effective we are, and that's not the case at all.
Well, Tony, it'd be great to speak to you tonight. Thanks so much for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
We actually put it to you on our web poll. Who wastes most of your time at work? Me, 24%. Not me, Charlie. Me, it doesn't matter. My boss, 43%. And your web polls, 33%. So take that, boss.
Nothing wrong with your productivity, Dave. How many jobs you got now?
Oh, I've got a number of jobs. And
But remember, he said just working long hours doesn't make you productive, though.
He's got 4 or 5 jobs.
yeah,
That doesn't make him productive.
Okay.
but he also said if you're disorganised at home, you won't be effective at work. And I'm disorganised at home, and I'm effective here, aren't I?
Break time.